Hey there, Kelsey. Great speaking with you earlier today. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 things that you guys can do today to help bring in more customers to your business. Again, my name is Seleni McGregor, and I work with local business owners and small business owners. And so I have put together this quick custom video for you just about your online presence and specifically how you stack up against competition. I'm sure most likely you're sitting there asking yourself, okay, why would she be doing this and what's the catch? Well, that is a fair question. What I have found is that most local business owners are just too busy actually running their business. They might be swamped with payroll, helping customers, answering questions, just dealing with employees and staying on top of jobs that many times learning how to leverage the internet to benefit your company just gets buried underneath all of the other to-dos. And let's be real, half the time the only reason you may not have hired somebody yet is because you just don't know who to trust or know who is truly an expert. So that is exactly why I make videos like this. I have found that by giving people an easy, free attack plan of actual things that they can do to impact their business for free, it's resulted in some of those local business owners still raising their hands and saying, hey, I like you, Seleni, can you please just handle this for me? So if by the end of this video you've liked what you've heard and can see that I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve that can help your business, shoot me a message back and we can chat. Or if at the end of this video you simply want to take this free attack plan that I give to you and do it yourself, that totally works for me too. Now let's cover the 3 things that are going to set Ellis & Son painting above your competition. First would be content, second citation, and third backlinks. So first up is content, and you're probably wondering why I have this website pulled up. So I actually, when I went to pull up your website, it is currently showing as a 404, site not found. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, if you guys are in the middle of a rebuild, or if you haven't had a website for a while. I tried to see with one of my tools if I could see an old website from yours. And it wasn't pulling it up, so I'm not positive where you guys are at right now with your website, but I'll do my very best. Typically I compare your website compared to your competition, but obviously without having a website here, it's a little bit hard to do a full comparison. So I'm just going to kind of use your competitor as an example here and give you some tips and tricks still of what we're looking for. And also just obviously a quick plug of how important a website is for a company. As you guys know, you guys use Google all the time to find things. And so having an online presence is super crucial to help gain traffic, gain authority, to really have the right end result, right, with customers searching on Google, and so that you guys are able to be found. So anyways, I'm going to basically use your competitor here in that Port Angeles area. Which also, I just have to say, Port Angeles is so beautiful. My husband and I took a trip up there. Oh gosh, it's been a few years at this point, but this is the place that has like changed my husband forever. He's like, if I could live anywhere, this is where it is. He just loves the mix of the beach and the mountains. And it was actually really cool. We actually saw some killer whales. We went out on a tour out here. And so we super love Port Angeles. We were on a little Olympic National Park trip when we went up in that area. Anyways, getting off topic, but we love it there. Beautiful area to live in. So super jealous. Anyways, okay, getting back to topic here on so here's your competitor, right? Liquid Painting Ink. They're in the Port Angeles as well. So with content, that's the first thing that we're going to talk about. So since Google isn't a human, it doesn't just know what you do. It needs to be told through your content. Obviously here with your competitor, content is basically going to be anything here on the homepage that's highlighted. So this can be text, it can be images, what images are saved as, what's behind the pictures, all of that can be considered content. To even give you an example here, I can show you like with images, for instance, if we did a right click, a save as, you can see here, they don't have this saved as anything specific necessarily. Let's try this one as well. Same thing, kind of just named something random there. So in these situations, this would actually be a great way to leverage high volume keywords here in your detailed image descriptions. That will help boost content. Again, all of these things are what Google bots can read and basically get an idea of what is this business, what services are they offering, what area are they targeting, and that's going to position you in the search ranking. So the goal is having unique and authoritative content. You need to have enough of it to be able to add in the right keywords and phrases that people are actually searching searching for in Google in order for somebody to find the services that you offer. Most business owners know that they need content, but what they don't know is that in order to rank #1 on Google for like painting, for instance, the average content count is about 1,500 to 2,400 words on your homepage alone. Again, while making sure that it has the right keywords and phrases that your customers are actually searching for. Now, obviously, I wasn't able to pull your content because of your site being a 404, but just looking at your competitor right here, looks like they're sitting around 766 words here on their homepage. So super beatable to be able to get your content up higher once you're able to get a website here and be able to beat them in this area. Now we're also going to jump over here into one of my tools. Oops, sorry, I was on the wrong screen there. This tool is called Ahrefs. It's a super cool tool, typically costs a couple $100s a month if you guys wanted to go get this for yourself. But it essentially gives me behind the scene details that Google is looking at when it comes to ranking a site. So I can get a pretty good idea of what's working well for you and your competition. So I do have your competitors pulled in here. Right off the top, I can see just a couple of things. I can see like how many keywords they're being found for, and typically we kind of see what type of traffic it is pulling in. Here in your small area specifically, I'm really not seeing a huge pull to the website. And I've only seen them being found for a couple of keywords that really are not specific to the Port Angeles area. So we'd really need to dive in and take a look at specifically what type of keywords are being found in that area. And then obviously my suggestion would be looking at the locations around you. Really need to understand a little bit better how far you guys travel to do jobs and really being able to do customized research in the areas that you guys would actually travel to. And so I think that would be a lot more helpful for you guys to also be able to see that. Obviously, if we jump over here with yours, because it is showing a 404 right now, it's not pulling in any type of traffic for you or any sort of like overview here to give me anything to really like compare you guys with right now. But just to give you an idea, like when I am working with other painters and looking at the types of keywords that they're being found for, we're often finding anywhere from 5 to 20 keywords in that area. It just depends on the area. Volume obviously differs greatly depending on the location. And then the positioning, where they're landing on Google for them and what they're being found for. Really, it doesn't look like your competition here is doing a great job of necessarily being found for certain keywords, but they are ranking #1 because the competition level is pretty low there in the Port Angeles area. So these guys are currently ranking #1 for painter in Port Angeles. So we'll kind of go over that and I'll show you that here as well. So we'll actually jump over here into Google and we'll kind of switch up and talk about the second important thing, which is citations. So I do have a keyword just pulled in here, just painter Port Angeles. And here, of course, the first thing that we see pulling up here is the ads section. Here's the thing with ads. Ads can totally work, but they could also be a huge money pit if your website's not dialed in. So obviously with a 404, that would be a huge miss here. Or if like people are using an ad blocker, you just need to be really careful to not burn through your money here on Google Ads until you know for sure that your site is going to convert. But of course, we're going to jump down below the ad section. We're going to come down here into the coveted map section. This area has a lot to do with the second important thing, which is citations. And you're probably asking yourself, okay, well, what is a citation? Why do they matter? Well, great questions. So this is called the Google Map Pack. I'm sure you've seen it. You've probably even used this section and possibly thought to yourself, how in the world can I get my business up on here in the top 3 spots? That's a great question. And that's what I'm about to show you here. So to get yourself to the top 3, the #1 thing that Google looks at is a thing called citations. So what is a citation? Well, it's just your business name, address, and phone number listed on a bunch of online directories like these. Having citations helps Google to be able to verify your local business and then give relevance to it. So to push yourself up here in the top 3 spots, sorry, I think I've got 2 tabs pulled open. Top 3 spots though, you really just need to increase your citation game. And then of course there's optimizing your Google business profile here to get you here. Of course, when you get more citations than your competitors, especially from authoritative and industry-specific sites, your credibility boosts, you gain more trust from Google, therefore pushing you above your competition. So you do have page tools like White Spark or Bright Local that'll tell us the exact directories that your competition is listed on here, and then we can go ahead and match those directories. But of course, we don't want to just match them, we want to dominate them. What we have seen is with most painting companies, they're typically around 50 to 250 citations, really just depending on the location and competition level. So if you're pushed down below that, maybe second or third page, you might only have 10 to 30 citations. So we not only need to go get those citations to match your top competitors, but then we need to beat them out online. Now I do see when I'm jumping in here, I can see you guys are down here. So looking at like the second page for a Google map pack in that area. I assume just with the amount of painters that you have right here in Port Angeles area and the small population here, I imagine the map pack is a very crucial part to be able to get your business. Typically when somebody is typing in here into Google, we say that about 40% of searches end up being click to calls from the map pack, and then about 60% is down here in the organic section, which I'll talk about here in a moment. But I imagine for you guys it'd be really crucial to be able to gain more traffic from that area, just with all your competition going on, that if people are coming straight here to the map pack, I imagine that a lot of it is going to your competitors right here. So super crucial to help get you up here. Now, we're going to talk about the last thing that I wanted to go over with you today, which is backlinks, or often called link juice. And this third pillar is really going to help you dominate here on Google. So again, when we search Painter Port Angeles, scrolling down below the map pack, we get down here into the organics listing section. And you can see that your site is not ranked, obviously we don't usually count Home Advisor and BBB, but like ranked number 1, 2, we've got a Facebook page is 3, 4, 5, anywhere here on the first page of Google, which also makes sense considering the 404 right now, right? But again, like I was saying, we really ideally want to be in the top 3 spots here on Google. The top 3 spots on Google get about 75% of the clicks when people are coming down to the organics listing section, meaning that most of your potential customers are choosing one of these first 3 results and they're never making it down to your listing. And of course, they couldn't even find your full listing because of the 404 right now. So it'd be a huge miss there that would really be helpful to help capture, especially with the limited traffic going on in your area. Now, of course, you need to be able to beat out your competition in every aspect in order to get up here into the top ranking spots. So how do you get that? Well, you need authority. And how do you get that? Well, that's where the backlinks come into play. So a backlink is just when one website links to another website online. Basically, you can think about it like a popularity contest back in high school. You want the most cool, popular kid to be recommending you. So in this popularity contest, the one with the most relevant link juice or authority wins. And I do say relevant because not all backlinks are created equal. So you guys are painters, right? Well, you wouldn't want to get a backlink from an ice cream shop linking back to you because you don't make ice cream. Although that would be tasty, it would be useless to you. But having one from like a local blog or industry specific site linking back to you, that would be much more effective. Again, I've got my tool plugged in here. Because of the 404, it's not finding any of the data here on any backlinks if you've had any in the past. But we can pull open here with your competitor. We can actually see they've got 48 backlinks being pointed back to their website. It's not bad. It is a start for them. It's actually dominating right now for them in that area because, with you guys having 0, obviously without the website, it's a great way for them to be able to boost themselves there to the top. Because again, this is pushing a lot of the power. Here with this tool, I can go in and I can actually see the exact links that they have going back to their site. And I actually see that they don't have a ton of quality sites. Like I actually see a lot that are not quality sites being sent back to their website. So again, this would be a really easy, great way to beat out your competition, is to have more quality, relevant sites pointing back to you guys. Again, getting you here to the top of Google, it is not magic. It's just a tried and true method, and I've shown you that exact method today. And again, like I had said in the beginning, this same research that I did on this could be done for any different area, depending on how far you guys are looking to travel for different jobs. So that really would be a conversation for another time, but I can do the exact same research and finding different volumes all around you guys. And obviously, like, even having pages there in Port Angeles is a great way to start ranking and capturing the traffic that you have right in your local area. But then you can put up the different location pages of how far you want to travel and rank those in those areas as well. So that way you're capturing traffic all around you for the areas that you want to serve. So again, the 3 things that you can do today to help grow your online presence is first, focusing on this website, getting something up for you with the right amount of content here. Again, at least 1,500 words with the right keywords and phrases. That way your company actually gets found. Second is just making sure that you get more citations than your competitors. Again, this helps to beat out your competition by a landslide and get you in that map pack in the top 3 spots so that 40% of your volume is actually going to you. Now, the last one would be getting more relevant backlinks pointed back to you, but of course, this is only relevant if you get your website up and going that way. So again, all of these things are able to help show Google that you are the number one and get you to the top. Now, I know how tough the market is, and I also know how dependent small businesses might be on third-party companies like Angie's List, or even here in this area like Home Advisor. I also know how painful it is to pay for leads that are shared amongst your competitors. What I have shown you here today gives you control over your leads, having clients come straight to your door without a broker in between. So I'm sure that you're sitting there wondering, okay, well, what now? Well, you really have a few options. First, if you feel like you are already flowing with clients and you cannot handle any more every month, that is absolutely fair. If you could just send me a quick note and let's connect. Tell me you watched the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. I would really appreciate your feedback. On the other hand, if you're ready to grow, then you can take the blueprint that I went over with you today and use these 3 strategies on your very own. Again, I gave you the exact blueprint that a lot of companies pay tons of dollars to have, and it's all yours to use to help your guys' company. Now, if you found this information valuable, and if you are still one of those business owners to still raise their hands for the most effective route, just go ahead and respond to my email. We'll set up a time to chat. Once again, my name is Seleni, and I look forward to hearing from you, Kelsey. Have a good one.